All right, it's Wednesday, March 1st, and this is an end of the day SPY recap. And today we end up with another two down bar that kind of closed somewhat neutral here. We have a key opening price level for the month, the yellow line, which we'll go over in a second. And if we look at the two down day, this was a continuation from yesterday. And given the fact that we had a two down day the day before, if we were going to continue down, we were going to broaden out below this bar down here. And this was a key bar that had been discussed for quite a while now because there was an equal low at this bar, so there was high probability you were going to take that out. And now we've reached some objectives, so the question is, are you going to get strong follow through to the downside, or is this going to be a time for a little more consolidation since you've had the three compound bars that formed an outside bar from this one green bar once you started lower. In terms of today, although it might have seemed somewhat tricky, the key is you had your eye on this target all along, and that's kind of what kept you biased to the downside. You're obviously below the midpoint of the prior day the entire day, so you're not really looking for anything on the upside as of, any time today. What happened was right out of the gates, you kind of had a little a neutral bar, then an up bar on bar two, and then you went two down on bar number three. So this was the bar to get short. And when you get short inside of a pre-market range, the first target is always just the pre-market lows. And if you would have went long, it's inside the range, your first target is always these pre-market highs. Then you want to see if you fail or continue there. Now, we had a major target here at this red line, and we never lost sight of that. But clearly, the market paused here on bar number four and then started back up. So at that point, you're kind of breaking even. That's also the open of the first bar. Once you started lower here and paused, you're really expecting to continue lower to that target. Once you headed up and kind of got to the midway point of that first bar, which was near the open of the first bar, which was a two up bar, it's kind of a break even kind of thing and wait and see. And then once you came up here and failed and had the two down bar, that was a re-entry. I shot a video how I bought the SPY there, and I actually exited almost all of my position here at this target. It reached it quickly, and when you came down to one big bar, you almost sensed that was the algorithms in play, just getting to that level quickly, and it wasn't surprising to get a reversal here, and I kind of shot that in my video. For me personally, once we had the initial down move to start the day, I got short. If I look at the charts, I kind of went short Netflix instead of the SPY, so that was obviously a good negative trade all day. And then I did get in, to the SPY here on a secondary move, and that became a good trade of the day. And then once we started up and we failed at this bar, I kind of looked around the board and I looked at a stock Caterpillar, which was very strong. It was green bars above its pre-market range with targets above. And I bought a secondary trade here kind of at this, blue line. And it was a nice gain. Again, a kind of a small base hit trade once I saw the market generally look like it was kind of heading up. Now, at this point, I understand, it broadened out. This is what the market does. I mean, it does price to, once you reached a major target and you came up here, I wouldn't be, I wasn't looking really to get short again to take out those intraday lows. Once the target's been met, we did come down a lot and then kind of rallied a little bit. So bottom line is we reached a major target. Here we sit now. And in terms of the weekly chart, just to pop, that was kind of the goal too. It was a two down week. And then all you're expecting with this big red bar was to take out that low. So it kind of met that objective too. It doesn't mean we have to continue to these next lows. And if anything, I see a bit of a support in here at the kind of the midway point of this line. So, we possibly can get a buy signal tomorrow going above, and that would kind of be above the monthly, open, which is this yellow line if we head up and kind of take that out, and we have some targets up here. So who knows, we might be broadening out up here for a while before we eventually get lower. To me, I still want to see this weekly bar turn, reverse before I get comfortable on the long side. So that, with 2 days to go in the week, that would have to have a big hammer bar and then go up next week. I don't know if that's going to happen. So I'm still biased to the downside, even though I'm kind of expecting pause action here and maybe even a short-term up trade. On the monthly chart, we technically had a new low on this month. So we have a 2 down month in force. So until we get above the midpoint of that month, I'm going to still always be biased, even if we have a little bit of a rally until, unless we get above the halfway point of that bar, I'm going to be looking for a rollover down because I still see we're very early in the month, which is good. I like that we kind of triggered that very early in the month. That gives a lot of time to reach these two targets. That's all the way down to like the 370 area. So I'm keeping that in mind, but we might get a little bit of a rally here to start and broaden out a little bit first. The sell signals, should they develop, would be very powerful because we're in that monthly, continuity to the downside. So we'll see what happens. I thought there was, in terms of the monthly chart, if we go and look at that halfway point and kind of draw a line, you can see here on the daily chart that's right up in this area. So, that this would kind of be the breakout point that maybe you rally back up to. But as long as we hold, we might have a big rally up there, but as long as we hold that and roll over, we'll still be looking down on the month. But there is room to move up. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. But for today, the objectives were met. That was the key, really, that we've been monitoring for 3 days now. And you had an opportunity to kind of get it one way or another here early in the session, and then there wasn't much to do after that.